Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress.
It has been officially 24 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks. On September 11, 2001, 4 commercial airplanes were hijacked for a correlated Islamist terrorist suicide attack by al-Qaeda towards the United States. 2 planes flew into both the Twin Towers in New York, 1 plane flew into the Pentagon, and 1 crashed down on a field in Pennsylvania, which was revealed to have been an attempt towards Washington, D.C. Over 1,000 people got trapped inside the Twin Towers, later passing on due to smoke inhalation, incineration, plunging off of the building, or the eventual collapse of the buildings themselves. The World Trade Center ended up collapsing to a pile of smoke, dust, and debris, forming a giant cloud, making it hard to breathe for people who weren't even inside the buildings. The crash on the Pentagon caused a partial collapse. The end result was the death of nearly 3,000 people and many others seriously injured. For the past 2 decades, this whole incident was never forgotten. Friends and loved ones were lost, so that later, New York got the National September 11th Memorial and Museum, Virginia got its Pentagon Memorial in Marlington County, and Pennsylvania got the Flight 93 National Memorial at its crash site. It is safe to say the people who live today will never stop honoring the emergency service workers who risked their lives that day, nor stop remembering the innocent lives lost. Stay tuned on WYLN for more.
The anniversary of 9/11 is a historic day, a day meant to hold ceremonies. This is why the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony was held this morning at the Luzerne County Courthouse Rotunda. As established would happen yesterday, this event featured the 9/11 Memorial Flag, a crafted flag made up of almost 3,000 small American flags, all meant to honor each of the victims lost that tragic day, not to mention the first responders that day who took part in dangerous heroism. The event also featured the MMI Black Diamond Chorale, who respectfully sang honorable songs, mainly the Star-Spangled Banner. Another musical group was the musicians of the NEPA Philharmonic, playing amazing pieces of classic music. Luzerne County Manager Imelda Crocomo gave her opening remarks to everyone in attendance.
They deserve a future unmarred by hatred and violence. A world where their dreams can flourish without fear. Where are we now, 24 years later? The memories of that day serve as a poignant reminder of a shared responsibility.
Honorable Judge Tina Polacek was also there to give her remarks.
But also the courage, unity, and resilience that emerged from it. We honor the lives lost, the families forever changed, and the courage that rose from the smoke and sorrow of that day. But not only the well-documented acts of courage on September 11th, but also the countless acts of quiet heroism that continue to inspire us more than 2 decades later.
The event was all made possible by Imelda Crocomo, as she really knows dedication to those who truly deserve it. Luzerne County Community College in Nanticoke is to thank for this additional ceremony today. The LCCC helped honor the lives lost and first responders' work during 9/11 at its 24th annual September 11th Remembrance Ceremony and brick dedication, all starting with its Walk of Honor. Along with many in law enforcement, various fire departments attended and helped, such as Nanticoke, Kingston, and Pittston. The event was held this morning at 10 o'clock a.m. At this ceremony, there was a big presentation of a memorial wreath, a final alarm tribute, and a flag protocol by Nanticoke Fire Department representatives.
Order! Arms!
We spoke with LCCC President John Udichak, who gave us an overview of the college's annual event.
Luzerne County Community College is proud to host for the 24th year at its beautiful Walk of Honor, a remembrance of the September 11 attacks on the United States, honoring our first responders, honoring all the families who lost loved ones in that tragic day. And since that tragic day, honoring our first responders. So proud to stand here with Luzerne County's finest members of police, fire, and paramedic units throughout northeastern Pennsylvania to honor those we lost on 9/11, to make sure that we never forget their service and their sacrifice, and never forget that when America is attacked, we come together as one nation, under God, united in service to the lives and liberties of the United States of America.
We also spoke with Luzerne County Council Chairman John Lombardo, who told us his personal relevance of the day itself.
So the personal relevance to me is that I am, in my full-time career, I actually am a first responder. I'm a firefighter for the city of Pittston, and I do have a familial connection to the loss that the fire department suffered on 9/11. Just to me, it's about honoring the past. It's about honoring those who came before us and those who made the ultimate sacrifice, and really teaching the next generation about the events of September 11th, 2001, because there's a statistic that over 100 million Americans that are alive today were actually not alive on 9/11. So they don't know what it was like that day. They don't remember what the aftermath was like, and we need to keep teaching our children and the next generations this history, because it is so important that they do remember it and experience what happened that day, so that we are not doomed to repeat the history that we have.
The Walk of Honor was established in 2002 and stands as a lasting tribute to no change. Coming up on WYLN News, a PA lawmaker is pushing for a change in driver's licenses. Plus, Luzerne County plans to sell a portion of land. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
WYLN News brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton's emergency room team. Your experts in any emergency. When emergencies happen, minutes and expertise count. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is now part of Jefferson Health.
Hi, my name is Victoria and I'm 7 years old. Tomorrow the weather will be rainy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Attention WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
Welcome back to WYLN News. A Pennsylvania lawmaker is pushing for a big change to state driver's licenses and ID cards. Representative Ed Nielsen of Philadelphia is preparing a bill that would allow residents to carry a digital version of their license or ID on their smartphone, in addition to the physical card. The proposal would require strict security and privacy measures, making the digital option compatible with apps like Apple Wallet and Google Wallet. A real ID would still be required before a mobile version could be issued, and drivers would still need to show a physical card during traffic stops. Pennsylvania wouldn't be the first state to explore this. Several other states, including New York, Ohio, California, and Louisiana, have already adopted similar programs. A Schuylkill County jury has found a Sugarloaf man accused of indecent assault involving an 11-year-old girl not guilty. The verdict came yesterday afternoon in the case of 39-year-old Joseph Disabea, Jr., following a 2-day trial. Disabea, a diesel mechanic instructor at the Hazleton Area Career Center, was suspended from his job following his arrest on charges of indecent assault of a child under 13 and corruption of minors. This stemmed from an alleged incident inside a Klein Township home back in November of 2024. Prosecutors claim the alleged assault happened during a family gathering when the child was in an upstairs bedroom. The defense argued that the testimony from multiple witnesses placed Disabea elsewhere in the house at the time. Jurors heard from the victim, her mother, and a township detective, as well as defense witnesses and Disabea himself. Attorneys debated inconsistencies in testimony and whether there was enough evidence to support the charges. After about 30 minutes of deliberations, jurors returned a not guilty verdict on all counts. Disabea had been free on bail since December of last year. The Luzerne County Convention Center Authority is moving forward with plans to sell a portion of land near the Mohegan area at Casey Plaza in Wilkes-Barre Township for a future hotel development. The authority voted this summer to approve the sale, and the property has drawn interest from Onvo, the company that already owns the Residence Inn near the arena. Officials say negotiations are ongoing for the sale of about 7 acres of property by the arena's parking lot, with a deal expected to be finalized next month. If the sale goes through, the new project would add additional hotels to the area around the arena. Coming up on Freeland's News Choice, Wyln historian Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Part 2 of Watsontown. And stay right here on Wyln. We'll be right back.
For a better customer experience, visit Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Fairway Subaru has been providing generations of customers with Subarus. With exceptional customer service they've come to expect. Check out our selection in person or at fairwaysubaru.com. Fairway Subaru, the right car, the right price, the right dealer.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on Wyln TV 35.
Are you sitting at home living in pain? Maybe it's in your hands, maybe your back or your hips. The good news is you don't need to live in pain. Why? Because there is Omega XL, a one-of-a-kind, natural, powerful joint relief supplement created from the green lip mussels of New Zealand. Drug-free, non-habit forming, it's small, easy to swallow, and it's backed by more than 40 years of clinical research. As I was getting older, my joints started to feel that wear and tear. But then I tried Omega XL and it changed my life. If you're experiencing daily aches and pains due to aging and overuse, try Omega XL and see the difference it can make in your life.
Buy one, get 2 free. 2 bottles of Omega XL plus Vitamin XL D3, a value of more than $85. Call today and you pay only $39.95. Plus, you have nothing to lose because it's backed by our 60-day money-back guarantee. Call now.
PPW High Voltage is back. Join us for all the hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action that only PPW Wrestling can bring you. Join us each and every week as we bring you the action from the Sladyton Expo Center, Saturdays at 4:30. Sundays at 10 p.m. only on Wyln. PPW Wrestling, the best in independent wrestling.
It's high school football time on Wyln TV 35. Check out the game of the week and join the entire Wyln sports team as they bring live high school football to you. Watch over the air in Hazleton at 35.1, Berwick at 47.1, or Williamsport at 9.1. Or Service Electric Cable, Channel 7 or 507, or online. The Game of the Week is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Comebacks begin here.
For a better customer experience, visit Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Fairway Subaru has been providing generations of customers with Subarus. With exceptional customer service they've come to expect. Check out our selection in person or at fairwaysubaru.com. Fairway Subaru, the right car, the right price, the right dealer.
Hi, my name is Victoria and I'm 7 years old. Tomorrow the weather will be rainy.
The heyday of the canals came to an end with the rise of the railroads in the mid-1800s. The first line to reach Watsontown was the Philadelphia and Erie Railroad on December 18, 1854. It would be joined by the Philadelphia and Reading Railroad on the opposite bank of the Susquehanna in 1871. And beginning on December 13, 1886, Watsontown would be the western terminus of the Wilkes-Barre and Western Railroad. The line originally ran 22 miles east of Millville, where it split into two branches to Orangeville and Berwick respectively. The Wilkes-Barre and Western would not be a very successful route, and in 1902 would be reorganized as the Susquehanna, Bloomsburg, and Berwick Railroad. The line would be referred to derisively by locals as the Sweet By and By, and alternately the Weak and Weary due to the continued lack of traffic on it. Plans to extend the line further east to Chickashinny thus failed to materialize, and by 1909 the Susquehanna, Bloomsburg, and Berwick had been absorbed into the Pennsylvania Railroad system. Most of the tracks have since been removed, but a small section from Watsontown to Washingtonville is still in use today. Over the years, travel on the rails could be hazardous under the wrong set of circumstances. A major accident did not occur on the night of December 8, 1883, thanks to the alertness of one Watsontown resident. On the foggy night in question, George Lupfer was walking home along Main Street when he happened to spot a retracking car used to pull wrecked railroad cars back onto the tracks parked on the railroad above town. It was clear to Lupfer that the retracker had been put there deliberately to try and cause a train wreck, and that with the foggy conditions, there was no way the engineer of the train Lupfer knew would be coming soon would see it in time to stop. Luckily for the passengers aboard the train, though, Lupfer had experience working on retracking crews in the years prior and knew how to move it off the tracks. And so he quickly went to work, moving as quickly as he could, hoping the train would not reach the area before he got in the car off. Fortunately, he was indeed able to get the retracker off the tracks before the heavily filled passenger train arrived at the scene, saving countless lives. Railroads would also take another Watsontown resident on an adventure to South America and set him on a profitable career as a horticulturalist. Walter Van Fleet had been born in 1857. He had attended Harvard University and be published in the very first American Scholastic Ornithological Journal. In 1878, he decided to join an expedition and build a railroad in Brazil, hoping to study the flora and fauna of the region. The Collins expedition, named for the railroad-building brothers who bankrolled it, would be an unmitigated disaster in the end, with very little track being built, and the men, many of whom were ill-equipped for life in the tropics, were plagued by disease and lack of supplies. Of the over 900 members of the expedition, nearly a quarter died. Walter Van Fleet served out the 6 months of his contract trying fruitlessly to build the railroad, then took a raft down the Amazon with several other expedition members trying to get back to civilization. The men were left stuck at the American consulate in Para begging for food, as the Collins brothers had never actually paid them, until they had sold enough wood from tropical trees to get passage on a boat back to America. Van Fleet fell ill on the return voyage, on which the captain, who was at odds with the men, left them stranded aboard with no food in New York Harbor in the dead of winter. But he would eventually recover, return to the Susquehanna Valley, and start a medical practice. Van Fleet quit medicine in 1891 and devoted himself to raising plants. He joined a proposed utopian community in Ruskin, Tennessee in 1894, and was while living there that he would crossbreed his first rose, the Daybreak. Over the ensuing decades, many of them spent working for the Department of Agriculture in Washington, Van Fleet would create 29 different rose varieties, among them the Silver Moon, Mary Wallace, and W. Van Fleet, and would become the first American to receive a patent for a plant. Walter Van Fleet died in 1922 and rests today back in his hometown at Watsontown Cemeteries. His roses grace properties such as Longwood Gardens to this day. Back in Watsontown itself, many businesses thrived in the late 1800s. The Cooner Hotel, opened in 1857 by William Cooner, serviced travelers through the town. Subsequent generation of Cooners ran the hotel, which had steam, heat, and electricity in 1904, until it closed in 1921. New owners ran it as a combination hardware store and rooming house for a few years, until it was reopened as a full hotel, now called the Watson Inn. In 1929 by the Gare family. It closed months more in 1988, but was renovated and reopened again in 1990 and continues to serve Watsontown today. Many factories grace Watsontown too. One prominent factory began as Wagner Blind Company in 1866. The name was changed to the Watsontown Planing Mill Company in 1876 and to its most familiar name of the Watsontown Door and Sash Company in 1899. By that point, though, the factory had already burned down 3 times, in 1869, 1875, and again in 1899, and it would amazingly burn down twice more in 1904 and 1922. The 1904 fire would be sparked by embers from a train passing by in the nearby Pennsylvania Railroad. The factory sued the railroad for damages and won, but was only awarded about half of what it had requested. The Watsontown Door and Sash Company, which had rebuilt successfully after each fire, closed for good in 1935 after company president Curtis Wagner died in a car crash. Philco purchased the factory and made cabinets there for some time afterwards. Another prominent factory was the Watsontown Boot and Shoe Company, founded in 1870 by several partners, among them Joseph Holopater, Samuel Caldwell, and William Wagner. For a time, Ario Pardee would also own it. The company built its 3-story brick factory on Main Street between 2nd and 3rd Streets in 1873, and the Watsontown Post Office moved into the building as well in 1879. Among its most popular footwear were lumberjack shoes for the many woodsmen toiling in the forests of central Susquehanna Valley during this time. At its peak, the Watsontown Boot and Shoe Company was one of the largest shoe factories in Pennsylvania. By 1929, rumors started circulating that management wished to move the factory south to Selinsgrove, but this all became moot on July 28, 1927, when the factory burned down. Despite initial plans to rebuild, the factory never reopened.
And I'm 7 years old. Tomorrow the weather will be rainy.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Guys, do you realize what we're doing this season? Yeah. We've got the best deals. We've got the lowest price guarantees. We've got enough inventory for everyone in Hazleton. And the season starts, and it's starting right now.
Yeah! The lowest price guarantee.
Yeah. Ow! Remember this, Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton GMC. We have the
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Hello, I'm Wyln historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
Hi, my name is Victoria and I'm 7 years old. Tomorrow the weather will be rainy.
You're watching